The hallelujah moment when the zombie has seen the light. And yet, it never lasts. This is why it is the hallelujah moment. The hallelujah moment. And what do I mean by that? That is when the zombie, aka the narcissist, after however long of you trying to get through to them and point out all these convoluted behaviors and exploitative machinations that they've been entangling you with and draining you with and all that other shit. Well, all of a sudden, typically when they're kind of against the ropes, like if you're on your way out the door or you've already left, and they start to panic, because they gotta get control over the situation. Now, it might come a few days later, after not talking to them for a little while or something, and then all of a sudden, you might get some little letter saying how you might have been right about a few things and all that and blah blah blah, and giving this roundabout kind of impression that maybe they're finally ready to, I don't know, start talking about some of these things, being a little bit more transparent, or who knows. It's breadcrumbing. So you go, okay, you give them one more shot, and then what do? Same old shit. They're pretending nice, they're playing nice, they're giving you all the things that they think you want. They're behaving in ways that they think you want them to behave, which is just this kind of bizarre, mechanistic shit. And it's not really indicative of anything you want, but at least it's better than the fucking alternatives. So you're like, alright, okay, zombie, thank you. Because you care about the zombie in spite of everything it's done and everything it does, and what it is and how it is. But these fucking hallelujah moments, these are like the toxic apologies. I made a video about that the other day. Toxic apologies with a relatively gratuitous Metallica intro. You can skip that if you want. There's a little blue button to click on in the comment section. If you don't want to rock out for a minute, just click the blue little buttons, numbers there, and it'll get you right on through it. And then we can rock out a little bit after the video if you want to do that, because there's a little bit more at the end there. But anyway, the hallelujah moment is fleeting. Never seems to last. That toxic amnesia of theirs starts taking over again. They start getting all dopey on supply, fuel, from you. It's juicing up their ego again and flooding them with all kinds of zombie neurotoxins. And they're feeling all fancy. Well, they don't want to risk any kind of decompensation or anything like that. Unfortunately. About one of the few things that can actually save them. And then, of course, they have their pathological trust issues, which is quite remarkable. I mean, considering you're probably very trustworthy, but they don't see it that way. Because they're living with themselves 24/7. They know damn well that they're not trustworthy, so how can anybody else be? The zombie is a closed system, end to end. Doesn't do so well with taking in information. In fact, it's a big part of the problem. By either lacking empathy or being almost devoid of it, well, they tend to not be able to see things through any other perspectives, any other lenses. So that's it. Just the fucking dystopian zombie operating system and the dystopian, despotic, cannibalistic fucking worldview, zombie, street rat, Game of Thrones horse shit that they've got going on in the back of their minds. The front of it, or the side of it, or whatever. Zombie logic. But ultimately, the hallelujah moment is, it's another part of the zombie black magic, basically. It's just to lure you back in there, to get you back into the shit, so they can keep feeding on you until there's, probably nothing left, and they can finish up their necrotic life cycle. It's kind of like a locust, just going in and feeding and feeding and feeding until there's nothing left, and then just flies away. That's the discard. And whether they mean to or not. Well, again, here's the problem. If they can't face themselves, if they can't learn to look in the fucking mirror, in whatever way, shape, or form that would actually be productive for untangling some of that zombie operating system that they've got going on in there, well, then there's not a goddamn thing they could do about it. All they're going to do is start brushing shit under the rug again, which is just going to push it all into the unconscious all over again, start pulling all the strings in the background, not a sight, not a mind. But it's running amok. It's all running amok. One way of looking at it is that inner human being trapped in there somewhere in the zombie operating system is just as much wrapped up in the zombie black magic as anybody else that tries to get entangled within that fucking system. That little inner human being might even be crying out for help. You might hear it. That might be one of the things that lures you in there. Well, the zombie operating system loves this. Start reattaching its feeding tubes to you while it's distracting you with fuckery or whatever. More zombie black magic. Showing you its new little tricks it's learned in the sack or whatever. Zombies are very prideful about their lewd tricks of the trade in the old bedchamber. Be very addicting. That's part of the zombie black magic, the sex magic. Getting you addicted to the zombie. It's fucking sadistic. The zombie needs you to be dependent on them. So they can't stand it if you're some kind of person that's got some kind of independence thing going on. Oh, fuck me. They don't like that at all. They gotta break that shit down as much as humanly possible, and in any way that they can possibly get away with. I've used this analogy before. It's kind of like the raptors in the enclosure in Jurassic Park, just constantly testing that perimeter. And as soon as there is any moment of opportunity, bam, they're running out of that enclosure, and they're running amok in Jurassic Park, and that is no good for anybody or anything in Jurassic Park, except for the raptors. It's not really good for them either, because this kind of behavior isn't sustainable in this kind of environment. Besides, we're comparing apples to arsenic here. You know, a raptor, at least in its time and day, according to the stories of old about these mysterious dragons that once roamed the earth. You know, there's other dragons about in this whole ecosystem which supported life for these draconic lizard creatures. Birds, whatever. You know, dinosaurs are mostly birds or something. Or whatever. Anyway, the zombie is more like an infection, a virus. It's not a separate species from the human beings. Although it likes to think of itself that way. Zombies love to, some of them anyway, you know, the more self-aware ones seem to love venerating predatory animals, creatures, especially fictional ones, and they identify with them too. Might secretly think of themselves as some kind of apex predator. They might even chest thump about that a little bit behind closed doors. And you might be thinking something like, oh, okay, well, that's a weird thing to say. Apex predator, all right. Well, you know, the zombies got a lot of insecurities, I've noticed. I mean, in spite of all the chest thumping and vibrato, I can just sense it. It's pretty obvious that there's some major insecurities going on down there. I mean, major, like next level. So, okay, yeah, sure, you know, okay, this is some kind of overcompensatory thing. Sure, it's an apex predator. And it's saying that it's a monster, too. Okay, sure, it's a monster. It's a monster. I'm a monster, too, you know. Yeah, we're monsters, yeah. Yeah. In time, you'll come to understand what it's referring to. If it is that transparent. I'm not sure that's entirely common, but I don't know. Who's to say? This version of transparency. But even with these versions of transparency, it's still with the rose-colored glasses. Hey. But anyway, it's getting a little breezy out here in the swamp today, folks. So, might have to cut this one, nip it in the bud. Besides, I think we covered it, you know. What was it? The hallelujah moment? The hallelujah moment. Another bit of zombie black magic. By the way, we're going to have another installment of zombie black magic coming out here soon. It's part 2. Should be interesting. Gonna probably need to redo the first zombie black magic too. The quality is a little subpar, and you know, we're trying to clean the operation up here a bit now as time goes on, expanding the agency and so forth. So I might have to come out with the remastered version of Zombie Black Magic, Part 1. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and until next time... Toxic pride. I'll wear it on my sleeve 'cause I couldn't possibly survive without my toxic pride. Toxic pride. I'll hold my head up high in spite of all of my insecurities and lies. The trails of tears I've left in my dipshittery and comic ties. You can't tell me anything about my necrotic trash and sordid grime. I'm all about my toxic pride. Toxic pride.